Okay, welcome, Jennifer Elliott. Welcome to Yin. We are in the middle of a new series, so we are doing the elements as they pertain to the meridians. We already did water and wood, and today we're in fire. And our animal spirit is whale. I know that seems more like wire, but water, but we're continuing on our path as it goes in the order. So today we are on fire. We'll connect to whale and we'll get started. Fire is actually the heart, and so we'll do a lot of heart opening and work the arms. So if you want to start in a bolster ramp, go for it. I have myself here a 2 block heart opener. Sometimes that's a bit much for me right away, but I'm gonna try it. If I need to, I'll change back to the bolster. Otherwise, I'm gonna do something here to open up my chest and get into a nice open heart. All right, I'm gonna be here for 4 minutes. We're arriving in our heart opening reclined butterfly. Whether you're using the blocks or a bolster or just opening your arms out in your toes. Really allowing the chest to open, rise and fall on the breath. Soften around the eyes. Cheekbones. Allow the jaw to slack. And even though the eyes may be closed, allow their gaze to drift down. And so we consciously move away from the thinking mind. And as we observe the heart rise and fall, we move into the feeling body. Our element today is fire as it pertains to the meridians, which is the heart meridian and the small intestine. Our fire energy has an upward momentum. And you can feel that with each inspiration. Each inhale, there's a lift, there's an uplift. Just notice that on each breath, letting the body carry upwards. And then surrendering to that new space as you let the body descend downwards on each exhale. We've got about 90 seconds left here. Couple breaths. Drag the knees together. You press the hands a little closer to the body. Just kind of observe. I went pretty deep on the legs, so that's kind of where I'm feeling it the most. Although most of the practice today will target the upper body. I'm going to go ahead and roll to the side and press up off of my props. And we're going to move into a twist. Any twist is fine. I'm going to do both knees bent myself, and I'm going to put my knees on my bolster. Just, I've noticed that's felt really nice for me in kind of those longer holds. I'm going to lie on my back, pull both knees into my chest. Take the arms either straight or into cactus arms, and then I'm going to drop both knees left. Now, any twist is fine because we're, of course, working across the heart here in our meridians, but also the heart is paired with that small intestine. So the twists are going to help target the intestines. So any twist is fine if this one isn't yours. Okay, we'll be here for 4 minutes. You joined a little late, welcome. Continuing on the elements as they pertain to the meridians. Last week we did water and then wood. Today we're in fire. The elements, they have these checks and balances for each other. So obviously we've seen in nature, if one element like fire gets out of control, it sort of takes everything else out of balance. And we have all those elements within us, so it's learning to sort of keep that harmony within so that our cycles are sort of staying balanced. So we want a little bit of that digestive fire. Connect to that inspiration, that expression of breath. In elemental theory, the water would be like rain, sort of falling down to the earth, so it has a downward pull. That still applies here. Let the body surrender. That water is going to help the plants or the trees or the wood to grow, so that wood has an expansive quality, so you feel yourself taking up more space, physical, energetic. And when those trees come to their end life and create that perfect brush with fire, which has that upward momentum. So one is not bad. They all have their place. And again, we want them to create a balanced cycle. A little bit more than 90 seconds left. Final minute. Come to center. In my case, I have the bolster, so I'm going to set my feet down so I'm not straining my back, put that bolster on the right side, and then I will move into my twist on that side. So both knees in and drop them to the right. I'm just going to open, or maybe I have a little work there in my shoulder. 4 minutes. Twisting on this side, we're sort of stoking that digestive fire. And directing our energy upward, whether it be with the next breath, and just directing the energy in general. Each of our elements are connected to a sense perception. And our fire energy is connected to the tongue and sense of taste. And notice, just sort of as you're settling in, what's the tongue doing? Is it lifting and sort of resting at the base, the roof of the mouth? Is it sitting more slack in the jaw? Maybe it's pressing up behind the back of the teeth. And you'll notice that that tongue placement changes the depth of the breath. It's also our ability to move that tongue that allows us to increase the language. And our animal spirit today is whale, which is the record keeper. Only through writing, sort of history, but also oral history, sound vibrations. And so we might even explore that through a little ujjayi, that slight resonance in the throat, connecting to that movement of the tongue. And the ability to allow more air in or out of the body. We've got about a minute to go here. Last couple breaths. Okay, so we come to center. And take a little rebound rest, maybe knees knock in, or maybe you feel like moving towards a shavasana rebound. Just kind of check in. We're going to open the chest evenly. I'm going to come onto my belly for Sphinx. If you'd rather lie over your bolster from Mountain Brook, putting it sideways under your upper back, that's also fine. But I'm going to take my blanket underneath me mainly just for padding. My low back feels fine, so I'm not going to use it as a support. But I am going to take my bolster underneath my elbows just to give me a little lift. And of course, this could also be seal if you feel like straightening the arms. I rarely find that I do that. It's just a little harder to settle into. But of course, it's available if you want it. So Sphinx, seal, Mountain Brook. If we didn't do 2-block heart opener in the very beginning like I did, that's another option. Okay. Settle in. Then the heart and small intestine meridian are balanced. We feel a state of love. When not balanced, we feel a state of hatred. This seems the most aggressive or negative of our pairings, sort of our emotions that are linked with our meridians. Think about when you hate something. It usually comes from a place of love, a place where there's passion. And so you care very deeply about that thing. If you didn't care about whatever you're putting that hatred towards, then you would be indifferent. But there's a strong emotion, there's a strong passion that begins there. And so learning to sort of direct that if it's appropriate. Obviously, we don't want to be hateful. The emotions themselves aren't positive or negative. They're on a spectrum of experience. They're there for us to step back, observe, explore. Why are we triggered? Why are we feeling intense? What is the root of that hatred? Where was that love and passion coming from? 2 more minutes. Just tap into your ability to love. In seconds. The whale teaches us to honor the sacred. If we're feeling that hatred, that passion, we're sort of approaching it with that mindset of honoring all life, all experiences. Maybe 30 more seconds. Okay, so take a little rebound, maybe just slide those elbows to the other side of the bolster. You can support your forehead if you'd like, just kind of rest. We're going to move into extended wings. Some of you will stay on your belly. I'm going to move to the wall in a moment. I find that bolsters are different heights, so yours might be the right height. If I do this on my belly, it's a little much for me. So I take the right arm out, up away from the hand, and that might be enough. Or you can push into that left palm and roll onto the right side. So that's one option. I'm going to sit on my bolster and sit sideways to the wall, so sort of addressing it in that way. We'll be here 3 minutes, so we're dropping down a little bit. So it's not as intense, possibly. If you're at the wall, you can sit sideways. That hand is about shoulder height or lower, the thumb up, and you can always look away from the center of the room. I'm going here. All right, so 3 minutes. Okay. And that was also connecting us to the beauty of song. So we can sort of think of that language, that breath that we sort of use to carry the note. And again, how our song can elicit emotion just from words and vibrations. About a minute in. Seconds. And one of these meridian pairs, one of these elements on an island, right? They work in conjunction with others. The lung and the large intestine are almost running the exact path. But they're connected to the nose, and they're connected to metal and sort of this contracting and cooling quality. So you can sort of feel that balance between the fire and the metal, sort of the expansion and the contraction. As we move through both ends of the spectrum in that same space. 30 seconds. I'm feeling a little buzzy in my hands, so that tells me that's nerves. I'm going to back off just a little bit. Okay, go ahead and rebound. If you're on your belly, you can kind of roll back. If you're at the wall, just sort of letting the arm release and rest. And then do the left side. So that left arm out, look away from the hands. If you're rolling on your mat, the rest of us are seated and doing the other side. 3 minutes. Just about a minute in. Me too. One final minute. Okay, okay, I've come to a little rest, a little regroup. So that's extended wings, those arms out. We're gonna move into crushed wings. So a couple different ways to do it. So crushed wings, the arms are across the body. You could just do one arm because we're gonna switch and then the other. Or you could do one on top and then after 3 minutes, the other one on top. Some of you are lying on your belly for Sphinx. And you could absolutely do this here, which might give you a good place if you want to put your forehead down on your bolster. Or if you don't want to be on your belly, you could lie on your back. I'd use bolster, but just for time's sake, you give yourself a hug. Or we could sit in Gomukhasana and take the legs as well. So I'm going to lie on my back. I'm going to do this just to kind of be a bit more passive about it. Whatever you decide, we are in crushed wings, 3 minutes. Normally I do this pose on my belly. It's quite a lot of body weight on the arms. And so it's similar here on my back. So it's really just about the arms relaxing. There's no sort of outside force. Both are great, just different. In either case, we'll open up the back of the heart. You allow yourself to breathe into the upper back body. It's a halfway mark. Let's think about when you're in this section, sort of that intense word of hatred. Someone you love or trusted does something to you that doesn't seem you had your best interest in mind, I guess. We might say, oh, they stabbed me in the back. What we really mean is that they hurt us, someone that we cared about, something that was hurtful to us. And so there's that resentment. It really comes from a place of love or a place of companionship or trust. And that person has severed that tie, severed that trust. And again, it comes from that place of connection. This doesn't mean that person in that circumstance didn't do a bad thing, but it just allows us to take a step back and observe the underlying hurt, where that comes from. Yeah, it's from that love, from that passion, from our connection. All right, go ahead and switch to the other arm on top or in front, whatever is working for you. Again, we're all here in a different holding pattern. But more or less, the effects are the same. 3 minutes. We're almost at the halfway point. Final 30 seconds. Okay, so we slowly unwind from whatever we were in. And the last of our arm work is quarter dog. So quarter dog, one arm is straight, the other arm is bent. You can sort of rest your forehead on your forearm and then we'll switch. So some of you will do this in child's pose. If you, let's say your arms are just kind of over it, you can do child's pose with your arms back by your sides, but we will do 3 minutes aside. So if you're in child's pose, it'll just be longer. Or you could do pigeon even and do the quarter dog arms. So this will be the last arm, so work accordingly to you. I'm going to explore child's pose with the quarter dog. And again, here the upper back, we can kind of breathe into the heart, but if you're really craving more legs, this can be a pigeon. And hopefully have time for one more work in the hip, but you never know. And you breathe. Our whale is highly intelligent, very telepathic, very clairaudient. So as you settle into this, we get a bit more still, a bit more quiet. Allow your ears to be open to receive those insights, those thoughts, maybe those messages. Whether you're in child's pose or pigeon, you've got a little bit of work here at the digestive system as well, that small intestine with your forward folds. And we're halfway through this pose. Last couple breaths. Okay, so we'll do the other side if you're in something like child's pose. If you want to unbend the knees for a moment or come out, then go back in, you can do that. And we'll go on to the other side, quarter dog. And we settle. About a minute in. Halfway through. Final 30 seconds here. Okay, so slowly come out of your pose. And we're gonna do legs in the air or up the wall. Nice heart opener. And all that attention to the heart space, so whichever you prefer. Okay, 4 minutes here, legs in the air. Inversion helps to lower that blood pressure. The heart doesn't have to work as hard, but it's also here to quiet and still the mind. So again, we're trying to move out of that thinking mind, more into the feeling body. Sometimes I like to meditate or contemplate on where my emotions are at. So if that love and hate were on the edge of the spectrum, that's polarized. And so there's that whole gradient, right? All those different layers of emotions in between. But maybe we don't have the language for it. We don't have the definition. So almost allowing yourself to seek that out and just kind of explore. What would you name it? How would you describe it? I don't think we have as much vocabulary as we should for our multiple layers of emotions. Let's see if you can make up those words. Describe them yourself. Almost at the halfway point. Less than a minute. Right, so we'll bend our knees. There's an option to stay on the bolster or not. So our final pose is thread the needle and a couple of options. So, or pigeon, of course. So I'm going to cross right ankle over left knee. If I'm on the bolster, it kind of does the work for me, right? Whether I'm on the bolster or flat, I can still reach for that left thigh. But I like the bolster because then I don't have to kind of do anything. Let those arms rest. We'll be here 3 minutes to finish. But again, we have a little bit of that work in the digestive area with that pressure with the leg against the lower belly. Okay, so you're in your version of this thread the needle. Almost at the halfway mark. Final minute. Okay. Unwind. And let's finish our practice with the second side. So thread the needle. If you were on top like I am, wherever we're at, we're working that. So our first side was the ascending colon. Now we're targeting the descending colon, kind of moving everything clockwise. About a minute in. Final minute. So slowly back yourself out. If you have the bolster still, lift your hips, move that out from underneath you. Hips to the floor, do a little rest. And then you can decide for your Shavasana, maybe you put that bolster under the knees, or maybe you sit upright for a meditation. Yogi's choice. But we'll end here, 3-minute meditation or Shavasana. Meditating, just observing. Again, we're looking for all those different ways to describe how we feel. And so just sit with that experience. Allow yourself to feel your feelings. And just like waves, just like everything, they come, they go. And we're just the witness. To bring our attention back. You're ready to move, start by fingers and toes, the arms overhead, a good yawn. On your back, roll to your right side. Slowly press yourself upright. Hands to your heart in gratitude as we lift our chest and bow our heads. Thanks for sharing your time and your experience today. Namaste. Happy Tuesday. I hope you're having a good one. I'll stay on if you want to chat. Otherwise, I will see you tomorrow. Shiloh will be in for me on Thursday and Friday. Okay, thanks. Bye.